We know sports.
10-foot touchdown!
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app. Now, live from the Matt Black Kia Studios.
Oh, what a move!
Here's Josh Hennig.
Josh Hennig back here for a Thursday edition. Get you ready for another football weekend. Of course, you can hear all the action right here on 97.3 ESPN FM. All four games right here on your radio. And, of course, Andy McNamara joins us each week from Sportsnet to get more into the games. So we'll cover all the games this weekend with him. Plus, we'll ask his thoughts on a couple NFL topics as well. We'll get to your guys' thoughts and comments throughout the show on the Eagles, the NFL, and the Sixers. You can always DM the show through the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. Thanks to First Bank of Seattle City. Also, if you're listening on the radio at 97.3 ESPN FM, we also will take your text still at 609-403-0973. But before we get into the football stuff, I do want to get to the Sixers because last night and today, there have been a couple of things that have happened that I think are they stand out. The one thing that I can't get past is the night after Joel Embiid has this phenomenal game, this out-of-this-world experience as a player, and you're just sitting there like, this guy's amazing. He's got 50 points in less than 30 minutes. I mean, he was phenomenal last night. And then all of a sudden today, more speculation with the Sixers making a trade. Daryl Morey goes on an interview and basically says that because of how Joel Embiid is playing, they're considering different players now, maybe lowering their trade demands. And I had told you guys previously, and I want to bring this up again. When it came to the Sixers, I always had said the only way this deal was getting done is if everyone involved gets reasonable and gets serious. Previously, nobody was serious about this stuff. I mean, and I'm not trying to be condescending or mean, but I go back to the example I used before. The Sixers were treating Ben Simmons like a car salesman in a car lot. All right? And they were treating the rest of the NBA like some random customer coming in who was basically trying to get a new vehicle. Daryl Morey was going to the rest of the league and saying, car's worth this much money. And the rest of the league was saying, I don't want to pay that much money. I don't think it's a coincidence that now Daryl Morey is coming down. I don't want to hear it because Joel Embiid played well. I think that excuse by Morey is a farce, okay? I think the real reason why he's willing to listen to people and deals is because I think Daryl knows that the league is getting closer to what he's willing to accept. You see, the deal you're willing to accept is not the same as the deal that you want. Back to the car analogy. We've all been to the car dealership. In fact, I've been on both sides of that table. During my radio sabbatical, I did car sales for a little bit. The conversation is the same for everybody. I've never been buying a car or when I was selling cars, and the conversation was ever different. The conversation is always the same. Person wants to buy a car. Person comes to the dealership. Dealership person says, let me get you an offer. Bring the offer in. Person never wants to pay that number. And then it's on the dealership to keep that person talking. Now, Daryl Morey, I think, has gotten some bad offers. I think that the offer the Kings gave of Tyrese Halliburton and Harrison Barnes, and there's just a bunch of dudes, right? I think it's a bad deal. And I'm glad the Sixers are not pathetic enough and stupid enough to make a deal like that. And there's all these reports. Well, the Kings don't want to trade De'Aaron Fox. I'm like, I don't care because I already got Tyrese Maxey. I'm not the only person who said this. The rest of the world has caught up to me. I was telling you guys this a year ago, and now the world is catching up to me. I told you guys that Tyrese Maxey has potential to be as good, but better than De'Aaron Fox. And now you're seeing it. The question is, all these teams want Ben Simmons. So who's the one who's going to step up and actually give an offer that makes sense? Now, the quote from Daryl Morey today was, we're going from 30 to 40 players that we will accept in a trade. I don't know what that really means because, first of all, these numbers are frivolous because we don't actually know what the list of names are. I'm assuming that Morey doesn't have Stephen Curry on the list because he knows he can't get Steph. I'm assuming that LeBron James isn't on the list because I think he knows that nobody is trading LeBron James for Ben Simmons. I think that Daryl doesn't have a literal top 30, 40 players in the league list. I think it's more of a list of players he'd be willing to accept in a trade for Ben Simmons within reason. So if that list is growing and the Sixers are willing to bring down what they want, to me, that says two things. One, the long-term idea, the big picture idea that the Sixers want to acquire James Harden maybe is not as realistic as they had hoped. Maybe the idea of James Harden leaving the Nets isn't as realistic, shall we call it. Again, I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm just saying that Morey doesn't say things by accident. Morey is not a guy who just says things to get a rise out of people. No. Daryl is a guy who says things because he's either trying to be as open with everyone as possible and be upfront with everyone as possible, or he's trying to get a message out there. This roster can be improved. And honestly, it needs to improve. Tim Legler was on Sportsnet with Scott Van Pelt last night. And I had to do a double take. I hit the rewind button on the remote. Because Legler said on SportsCenter, he said, I don't like the Sixers roster. He said, they have been winning these games because of Joel Embiid. And he says, because I don't like their roster. It's one thing to say the Sixers roster is less than it was last year without Ben Simmons. But this is a team that has won 8 of the last 10 games. And Legler goes on national television on one of the biggest shows on ESPN and says, yeah, I don't like the Sixers roster. And then a day later, Daryl Morey is coming out and saying, well, we're thinking about lowering our asking price for Ben Simmons. In the same week, the report comes out from Ramona Shelburne of ESPN that Ben Simmons is okay with sitting out the rest of the year if he has to in order for him to get traded. Don't you see what's going on, folks? It's the jousting of messages. It's the manipulation of perspective in the market. Morey knows that the NBA trade deadline is fast approaching. Morey knows that February 10th, that's 4 weeks away. I think Morey is trying to get the rest of the league to give him a last chance, give me your best offer kind of deal. I think Daryl Morey is trying to get everyone in the league to do a deal or no deal scenario with him. Except in this case, on deal or no deal, you don't know what's in the suitcases. Morey's showing you what's in the suitcases and then turning to you, or the NBA team in this case, the contestant, and saying, deal or no deal. Morey wants you to negotiate at the level that he wants. And considering how well Joel Embiid is playing right now, the Sixers roster that a national NBA analyst says is a roster that he doesn't even like. Basically, he said they're a trash roster, which I think is aggressive. But maybe he's right. You started Charlie Brown Jr. last night, for goodness sake. Trading Ben Simmons at minimum is an opportunity to retool your roster and reload. And if you trade Tobias Harris too, now it puts you in the financial sphere to go out and sign a James Harden in free agency. See, you can still walk away with Harden if you get enough money manipulated. And that's why this is all something we're going to keep an eye on. But I told you guys for months, this is the way it was going to go. It's not because I'm smarter than somebody else. It's because I'm not vomiting takes like certain people do that you all see on television sometimes. Josh Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. It's free. Thanks to First Bank of Seattle City. You can join the conversation, as always, by DMing the show through the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. And, of course, text board is open as well at 609-403-0973. Sportsnet Andy McNamara joins the show coming up in about 7 minutes from now. Before we hit the break, I did want to touch on, because I said, today is like my first full look at the NFL playoff weekend. And there is one thing that I think that we need to remember. And we'll bring this up a little bit more and deeper with Andy coming up in about 8 minutes from now. If you look at the games from last weekend, I don't think it's a coincidence that the majority of the teams that lost, the majority of the blowouts, were all first-time playoff starters. Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones, Kyler Murray, all their first postseason starts were all blowouts. Derek Carr, first postseason start, lost the game. I don't think that's a coincidence. And I think that's something to keep in mind, because now we're going into the next round with all quarterbacks who have playoff wins. Now, I understand that Burrow and Stafford got their first win last week, but confidence is a powerful elixir. If you believe you can win, if you believe that your team is better than the other guy, if you believe in yourself, you can win a lot of games in the NFL. Sometimes that belief is more powerful than anything. The Bengals believe they're better than Tennessee. That's dangerous. The Rams believe they could beat the Bucs because they beat them earlier this year. That's dangerous. Same thing with the Bills and the Chiefs. This weekend is going to be arguably the best football weekend of the season, because I think all four games are going to be hyper competitive. And you can hear all the games right here on your home for the Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, the NFL playoffs, March Madness, and more. 97.3 ESPN FM. We'll get to your guys' messages a little bit later in the show. As always, you can DM the show through the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. It's free, thanks to First Bank of Seattle City, and we are live on your radio, 97.3 ESPN FM. Text board is 609-403-0973. We'll dig deeper into all four playoff games coming up next. Sportsnet's Andy McNamara has joined us all year long, and he'll join us next for a deeper look at the playoff games right here on Game Night with me, Josh Hennig, on 97.3 ESPN.
It's Philadelphia Flyers hockey tonight on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app with Tim Saunders and Steve Coates calling all the play-by-play action.
The Flyers host the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Coverage begins at 7 p.m. It's Philadelphia Flyers hockey on the radio home of the Flyers in South Jersey, 97.3 ESPN, and listen live on the free mobile app.
Matt Blatt Nissan is looking to shed excess weight this new year, like $5,000. Yep, $5,000 off MSRP on every 2021 Nissan Titan Pro 4X.
Oh yeah, it's on at Matt Blatt Nissan.
Matt Blatt Nissan needs to move trucks. Every loaded 2021 4x4 Nissan Titan Pro 4X, $5,000 off MSRP. Plus, AJ the Trade Man wants to buy your vehicle today. Get cash on the spot or trade it in and drive a brand new 2021 Nissan Kicks SV. Just $299 per month lease. Or 2022 Nissan Sentra S. Just $249 per month lease with 0 security deposits and drive away with peace of mind, because only Matt Blatt Nissan has a 4-day love it or leave it return policy. So stop what you're doing and get $5,000 off new Nissans only at MattBlattNissan.com. Negative equity will be refunded for the new vehicle. 36 months, 10,000 mile per year lease plus tax and $479 not fee. Offers can't be combined. MSRP $60,140. VIN and N532176. Call 877-289-6670 or go to MattBlattNissan.com for complete details. Offer ends 2/5/2022. It's on at Matt Blatt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township.
Why does Walgreens offer copays as low as $0 and 90-day refills? Because we care about Medicare, so you don't have to. I mean, do you really care to hear me go on about same-day prescription delivery making your life easier? Or how there's a pharmacy expert available 24/7 and one-click refills? Well, I just did anyways. Fill your Medicare prescriptions with Walgreens and save.
$0 copays apply to Tier 1 generic drugs and select plans with Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy. Restrictions apply. See walgreens.com/Medicare for complete details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Ready for an oil change? We can help get the right protection at the right price. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Valvoline Daily Protection or Valvoline Max Life High Mileage Motor Oil with an STP oil filter for just $28.99. Visit one of our 6,000 stores or order from AutoZone.com for same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Yes, Ms. Tubbs. No problem. I'll call someone about the plumbing.
One of Beatrice's properties needs a new superintendent.
The custodial team is not
Someone with handyman superpowers and a concierge alter ego.
Does anyone know any good electricians near Parkville?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hear ye, hear ye. Thanks for coming to the town square. First, I'd like to tell you about Steve. He's a plumber. I hear he does good work. Also, Tim. He's this new thing called a dentist. Oh, and Monica, she has a new vegan restaurant. I didn't even know that was a thing yet. Anyway, if you need those things, just wander around town and try to find them because the internet hasn't been invented yet, so I don't know.
This isn't the olden days. Now, word of mouth has gone online. At Town Square, South Jersey, we can show you how to harness the power of your existing word of mouth and amplify it online. Go to townsquarelocal.com for a free local customer analysis, where you can see how many local customers in South Jersey you could reach online. Visit townsquarelocal.com and be the Town Square today. That's townsquarelocal.com.
Make 2022 your year to glow at Ulta Beauty's Love Your Skin event happening now. Upgrade your skincare routine and discover your healthiest skin yet with up to 50% off daily beauty steals from faves like Tula, First Aid Beauty, and Clarins. Feel your best with a skincare routine made just for you. But hurry, this event ends January 22nd. Shop in-store, online, or try curbside pickup today. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
Are you a Philly sports fanatic? Do you love to travel and cheer on our hometown squads across the country? If so, you need to check out Philly Sports Trips. Join your fellow Philly sports fans and book your trip with Philly Sports Trips to cheer on the Birds this spring at the 2022 NFL Draft in Las Vegas, where the Birds have 3 first-round selections. They have everything covered, airfare from Philadelphia, great hotel on the Strip, draft night party, group events, and more. To check out how to travel with the pros at Philly Sports Trips, check out phillysportstrips.com/trips/Vegas Draft.
You're listening to Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Josh Hennig back here on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. It's free. Thanks to First Bank of Seattle City. We are live as always in the Matt Blatt Kia Studios, getting you ready for a full slate of NFL this weekend. Of course, you can hear every game right here on 97.3 ESPN FM, your home for the NFL playoffs all year and every year right here on 97.3 ESPN. As promised, joining us as each and every week on a Thursday, get more into the NFL slate. Like I said, this is our first look show. It is the one and only Andy McNamara joining us right here on 97.3 ESPN. Andy, my friend, how are you doing today?
Josh, I'm doing good, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing good. And before we get to the specific games, I'm gonna loop you in.
Okay.
Before I brought you on, which is, I think that people are misanalyzing last weekend. I think that people are misunderstanding that part of the reason why those teams lost, I don't think it's a coincidence that it was all first-time starting quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, Mac Jones, even Derek Carr was a first-time starter in the postseason. So, listen, I think that people can't project last weekend to this weekend because I think this is going to be the greatest football weekend of the season.
Oh, the slate, Josh. Ooh, it's so good. This slate is just so juicy. It's just looking at, I really hope, first of all, it lives up to the hype because, quite often we look at, let's say, Chiefs, Bills. We're hoping it's 60-55 and it's 2 safeties and it's 8-6. That's not going to happen, but hopefully not. I think it's a great point that you bring up. These are first-time quarterbacks. Not every single quarterback who makes their first postseason starts goes on like Tom Brady and wins 3 straight Super Bowl. That doesn't happen quite often. Look at even, let's say, like the greats like John Elway. How many Super Bowls did he fail at, right? Before he finally won. And so when you look at the first time for these guys, I think what you have to take away is, okay, it's learning. You're under the bright lights. Now the real test comes next year. Now, if we see a similar output from Mac Jones, Jalen Hurts this time next season, now we got a problem. Now it's a conversation of, okay, can they not win the big one? Are they jokers? Is it whatever? But right now, I think you're totally right. You drink this experience and you went through it. And if you're a good player and team, it should make you hungrier for next year.
Also, it's a reflection of the coaches, is it not? Cliff Kingsbury, his first playoff game. Nick Sirianni, his first playoff game. Rich Bisaccia, the interim head coach for the Raiders. And, oh, by the way, it's not like anyone thinks Mike McCarthy is that good. He can tell us all he wants. I know how to win in this league. Okay, Mike, shut up. Okay, why don't you go do something that puts more confidence in us instead of cursing to your team on Hard Knocks, thinking that's going to inspire them, and they all have blank looks on their faces. Listen, as a Browns fan, I think the greatest saving grace for you is your head coach's name is Kevin Stefanski and not Mike McCarthy. Okay.
Amen.
I mean, literally, look at the Cowboys' years. They went from they basically said they're tired of Bill Parcells. Remember that?
Yeah.
Parcells rebuilt that roster. Then they went from Wade Phillips to Jason Garrett to now Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you got Stefanski now. At least the Browns, I have a little bit more belief in the coaching staff.
Coach of the year last year, I guess that'll be removed shortly. But Coach of the year, Kevin Stefanski still. Yes, yeah. I think you're right. And this is a big offseason if you look at it from the Brown side. And you can relate that situation to a lot of different teams and coaches going through a disappointing year, teams that did not live up to expectations. Can you humble yourself? Can you learn? How many times do we hear, this is my system and this is it? I need to, and they don't learn. They get too stuck. I don't think Stefanski's that way. But to your Cowboys point, I was hoping we'd bring this up because the Mike McCarthy factor, like this guy has been so blessed with the talent around him, and it's almost like he wins in spite of himself, right? Like you get one Super Bowl in Green Bay, which really, let's be honest, you should have had more. The time management stuff, just everything. He must have put on a song and dance sales job for Jerry Jones. Remember it was that year off? Josh, remember he was in his barn and he had his staff and they were learning analytics and they were learning spreadsheets and it was, all computer stuff. And that must have sounded real good to Uncle Jerry. But listen, if I'm the Cowboys, and I don't think this is going to happen, I would kick Mike McCarthy's butt, I almost swore, to the curb, get him out. And hey, how about you think of Kellen Moore to bring up innovative young offensive mind? How about Dan Quinn, who's actually gotten to a Super Bowl, right? Like Jerry's world. When was the last time you were in the mid-90s? I think Seinfeld was on the air, right? Been a while. So why not look to – you have good – like the Dallas – like the pieces are there. I just think it was the McCarthy. And what people also forget is remember year one, Josh? Remember like we were, 4 games in and there was mutiny? Like the locker room turned on him? I don't think that's a long-term success. You have the answer, I think, right in-house. We'll just see if Jerry has the cojones to bite the bullet, pay out McCarthy and get somebody else in-house.
All right, Andy, let's get into the actual games on the field. All right. Because we have 4 phenomenal games this weekend. We'll go in chronological order so everyone can follow along with us. All right. Bengals Titans to me might be the biggest question mark because, and I've been criticized for saying this, but I'm going to contend with this until I see him prove me wrong. I don't know what version of Derrick Henry we're getting. I don't know how close to 100% he is. I don't know how many carries he'll actually get. Because listen, they can run the ball without him. We saw Devonta Foreman and everybody else do it. I just haven't seen Derrick Henry on the field for weeks. So I don't really know what version of him we're going to get.
Right. Yeah. It's ridiculous to think that it's a certainty. This isn't, we're not playing Madden here, folks. We're not playing, you haven't played the game in a while and you plug it in and Derrick Henry is just Derrick Henry 99, go. No, this is a guy who's going to have a metal plate in his foot. Now, I'm no doctor, Josh, but I would tend to guess that if you make your money off of planting, pushing, cutting, barreling through, a plate in the foot could hinder you in some regard.
It might be a little difficult. I don't know.
Right? Like, how much? We don't know. He could show up. Maybe he does ball out. But to have that as the point there, I think is a mistake to count on it. And you look at this. I'll tell you, the most important part of this game is that Tennessee defense. Because my thinking, if the Bengals get 24 or more points, it's over. It's over. Because then you're going to have Ryan Tannehill throw the ball. And he's looking more like Miami Ryan than the Tana Thrill of years past. That Bengals offense, you can run it too. It just depends. I think Zach Taylor can definitely get out coached. Vrabel's the better coach. They got the better defense. It's if they can stop Joe Burrow in that offense enough.
Yeah, I think that the better coach is Vrabel.
Yeah.
I think the better quarterback is Burrow. And I think Burrow's got the better offensive weapons. Tennessee has the better offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Both defenses, they're all right. They're not great. They're not horrible. So to me, this is the biggest question mark game of all of them. And I'm really looking forward to it because I think that we're going to learn a lot about both teams after Saturday, because whatever happens on Saturday, Andy, they're both going to go into their off seasons with very interesting scenarios.
Yeah. Like, where are you at with I'm looking at it now on ESPN.com. I'm seeing 3.5 Tennessee. If it's me, Josh, I'm taking the Bengals. Like, I'm not buying the Titans. Maybe we'll be wrong if they can slow that offense, but I would take Cincinnati straight up.
3.5 is the second largest spread of the weekend.
No. I would take the Bengals. Have you decided yet? Still a little too far out?
I am leaning Bengals. I'll get my official picks tomorrow, but I'm leaning Cincy.
Okay. Yeah. That's where I'm at too. I think I'm with you. That's the biggest question mark. The 49ers Packers game. This one is like, it seems on the surface obvious, doesn't it? Like it seems like Green Bay should in Lambeau run away with this. It should happen that way. But man, I again, the coaching side, I don't know if I'm giving Kyle Shanahan too much credit because he's going to do something to be able to hang in there and hang around. And Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in the past, you can't necessarily time it. You can't put a number to it. But some way, shape, or form, almost always, that team in the playoffs, after gaudy statistics, amazing regular seasons, blows it somehow. I don't think it'll be this week, but it also wouldn't surprise me if it is because of how well coached the 49ers are.
Yeah, see, first of all, I've been criticized a little bit because I've been on the Kyle Shanahan gravy train for a while now.
Yeah.
I've been the guy who's gotten up there and been like, hey, man, Kyle Shanahan, he's been to Super Bowls. He's gotten there. By the way, he beat the Packers 2 years ago for that Super Bowl trip. So I believe in what they bring to the table. The problem is, I don't know if they're healthy enough to beat the Packers.
Yeah. It's true. Now, coming out of today's practice, reports are that Jimmy Garoppolo had zip on the ball. The shoulder, the thumb wasn't affected. Everything looked fine. But we know, Josh, as well, that while that's good and you need Jimmy Garoppolo to be successful to a degree, it's not, let's say, to the same point anywhere close to like a Cincinnati, where if you don't have Joe Burrow, you're done and it's over. Deebo Samuel's so creative in that backfield and out wide. You got Eli Mitchell. You have Kittle. There's so many moving parts with San Francisco. And again, it comes back to the coaching, the creativity of Shanahan, that you want Jimmy G to be healthy, obviously, but it's not like you're going to be needing him to throw. If things are going well, you're not going to be needing him to throw the ball 40 times. If he does, that means you're losing.
The other thing about this game is you mentioned who practiced and didn't practice. To me, this game also comes down to Bakhtiari on the Packers side and Bosa on the 49ers side. We know that Bakhtiari is questionable. Bosa, they're saying, is looking good. He'll play, whatever that really means. But the point is that if either one of those guys is not out there, that changes the dynamic of each side of the ball.
Yeah. Well, you look at it, and it's interesting because it's that head-to-head, right? Potentially. It's that Bosa versus Bakhtiari right there, depending how you move Bosa around and all that. So how that plays out, how the health goes, and not just do they both start the game, do they both finish the game? Are they playing at a high enough level because of that health to go in? I just feel in the end for this one, the Packers offense is just a bit too potent, and the defense has proven to be good enough that they'll get by San Francisco. I do think it'll be closer. Like that 5.5 number I'm seeing for the Packers, maybe that's about right, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a field goal-ish by the time it was said and done.
Sportsnet Andy McNamara joining us here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. You can follow him on Twitter at AndyMC81. Follow your NFL and fantasy sports coverage over there with Sportsnet. Sunday, this is the game that I think is the biggest chance of the underdog winning. Rams, Bucks. Another day that Tristan Wirfs and Ryan Jensen did not practice for Tampa. I'm a big believer in teams sometimes believe they're better than they are. And I think the Rams, whether you want to factor it in or not, whether you and I believe it, the Rams may believe, hey, man, we beat this team. We can do it again.
Yeah. And Vegas is saying the same thing. Josh, right? 3 points, right? Vegas knows. It's going to be close. And how about Cam Akers? Did that guy look explosive last week off of the Achilles, the one game? Man, think about that. You get an RB1, you get a bell cow type back, fresh legs as you can get, not playing all season. The Achilles look good. Everything looked healthy. You get that type of fresh body going into the playoffs. You don't get that. You don't get a star typically back like that. That's got to be an X factor. Question is going to be, okay, Matthew Stafford, You had the blame on Detroit. You had the built-in Detroit Lions excuse for your whole career. You got one here. You're going up against the GOAT, the defending Super Bowl champs. I think it's as simple as this, Josh. Rams beat the Bucs. I think the Rams at least get to the Super Bowl, if not win the damn thing. Because then your confidence level is an unstoppable train. You won the first round. You beat the defending champs and Tom Brady. Barring injury, I don't know how you stop them if they pull this out.
I mean, Rams are plus 700 to win the thing outright. So I mean, take that for what you will. Maybe that's your dark horse there, right there. You ride that. By the way, for those who don't know, the odds to win the Super Bowl right now: Packers are number 1, Chiefs number 2, Bills 3, Bucks 4, Rams 5, Titans 6, 49ers 7, Bengals 8.
Bengals are last.
Plus 1,500.
Oof. Like, I don't think they're going to win it, but man, I might put like 10 down on it. Why not? Right? Plus 1,500. Listen, it could happen. But yeah, I think when we look at this though, I anticipate the Buccaneers winning. I think the Buccaneers are going to win. I'm a big believer in the old Ric Flair saying, Josh, to be the man, you got to beat the man. Tom Brady's the man. The Buccaneers are the man. They won and are defending. Till you beat them, I am not going to count them out. And I think there's enough question marks on that Rams team that you can say, okay, it should be close. But when it comes right down to it, if there's a last-second drive and it comes down to, let's say, Tom Brady going down the field or Matthew Stafford, who are you taking? I'm not. I've learned long ago you don't bet against Tom Brady. So we'll see. That's going to be a real fascinating one.
It's funny you dropped the Ric Flair because I got the Rock just brilliant shirt. You got the AEW shirt on over there.
Let's go.
We got
my Ric Flair picture. Me with Nature Boy.
Yeah, back behind
right with the man.
Although it's hard to see it because it's kind of small back there.
It's so far. I'll have it up. I'll hold it up next time. It's taped on.
Well, we got one more game to get to, and that is, in this game, I think is the game that everyone's going to have the most disagreement on. Bills Chiefs. I understand the Bills beat them earlier this year, but Andy, that was a different Chiefs team. That was a different situation. And there's a part of me that wonders with Buffalo, they spent all offseason, we're going to beat the Chiefs. We're going to show them we can beat them. Did they have the adrenaline dump already? And now they're going in maybe a little too confident, because what I saw from Pat Mahomes last week, it's back. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
The juice, the elixir, the moxie, whatever it is, the offense is back. And I just wonder, does Buffalo come in here? You said earlier, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man, right? Well, it's one thing to beat the champ on Monday Night Raw. It's another thing to beat him the very next week at SummerSlam in front of 70,000 people when it's his town and his world. You can tell The Rock all you want, but when it's The Rock in Miami, at the biggest moment, can you take down Mahomes in his house at the zenith of the situation?
Josh, now you got me too fired up, man. It's late at night. You got me fired up now. Oh man. Yeah, you're right. You're in the home. This is the moment for the Bills. Since last year. Yeah, it's been Chiefs beat us. Bills should have won that game last year. They could have had him, but they didn't. And Josh, doesn't matter how you win. Doesn't matter if it's a low blow behind the ref's back, if it's a roll up and you pull the tights. Doesn't matter. It's if the 3 count happens. And the Chiefs got the 3 count last year. Now, the Bills also, you mentioned that adrenaline dump, pretty big adrenaline up. You squashed the ghost of Bill Belichick, the the rival at home.
Mm-hmm.
So is there so much where you're going to be, like you said, too high, too confident? And for Kansas City, remember, folks, it's tough to be really good for a long time consistently. The Chiefs went through that, and I think you said it right. Whatever it is was gone for about a month, maybe a bit more. For the Chiefs this year, well, it's back in a big way. And so this is truly a pick 'em to me, because Chiefs have that home advantage, of course, right? But Buffalo does have all the pieces. Buffalo's running the ball more now. The last month of the season, they finally got a running game from ignoring it inexplicably for all year and last year as well. Now you got Devin Singletary. So now all of a sudden you have a multi-dimensional offense. It's not just Josh Allen and then whatever the heck he does. Got that piece. And now you have the Chiefs, and they're going a little bit committee. McKinnon went off last week. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is supposed to be back. You got the big dogs, of course, all over the place. It's very interesting how those offenses mirror each other, right? Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs. You got Travis Kelce, Dawson Knox. The backfield are good, not great running backs, but that can work in a committee with athletic quarterbacks. Like, I just hope that these two teams are at their best. I hope it's at their best and that we get Rock Stone Cold 1 and not Austin Rock 3. Let's get that main event pop.
He's Andy McNamara from Sportsnet. You can follow him on Twitter at AndyMC81 for all your NFL and fantasy sports analysis over at Sportsnet. And before I let you go, tell the folks about UFF Sports.
Oof, baby. Thank you, sir. Yes. So we have Ultimate Sports NFTs.com, ultimatesportsnfts.com, guys. We got new NFTs coming out this week. I told you last week we had the Chris Carter Hall of Fame ones, Eric Metcalf, Walt Harris. This week, Jake Reed, part of the 3 Deep angle in Minnesota. We're going to have James Shaq Harris coming out next week with some real innovative looking NFT plays there. Lionel Dalton from the Baltimore Ravens, Jelly Roll, he's in there. And we have new ones coming almost every single day. So they're collectible. There's going to be one-of-ones. There's free ones up too right now that you can get your free NFT, ultimatesportsnfts.com. Check it out. They're really cool.
There you go. All the details. Andy's got you covered on all different kinds of things. Andy, my friend, enjoy the football this weekend.
You too, sir. Talk to you later.
Josh Hennig here, back in the Matt Black Kia Studios here on 97.3 ESPN. Great stuff from Andy McNamara, as always. We'll check out what you guys have to say on the other side. Of course, you can DM the show through the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, thanks to First Bank of Seattle City. You also can listen to tonight's Flyers game at 7 p.m. Tim Saunders, Steve Coates on the call right here on 97.3 ESPN FM and the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. And as always, you can text the show, as always, at 609-403-0973. I'm Josh Hennig. This is Game Night. One more segment next.
The divisional round of the NFL playoffs kicks off with a Saturday doubleheader. Hi, this is Scott Graham. Join me and the rest of our Westwood One crew for all the action. First, the Cincinnati Bengals take on the Tennessee Titans. Then it's a classic NFC battle between the 49ers and Packers from the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Coverage begins at 4 p.m. Eastern. From the wild card round all the way to Super Bowl 56 in Los Angeles, the NFL playoffs are right here.
Exclusively on 97.3 ESPN FM. Coverage begins at 4 p.m.
Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's reminding you of our proud partnership with Hall of Famer Brian Dawkins and his Impact Foundation that serves needy communities. There is still time to try the exclusive B-Dawk Impact Burger, only at Chicky and Pete's, with $5 from every burger donated to the Brian Dawkins Impact Foundation. It's tasty grass-fed beef with mouth-watering jerk spices, Caribbean pineapple sauce, and jalapeno chimichurri served with a heaping side of our Krabby Sweets. The B-Dawk Impact Burger is a winner for a limited time only at Chickies and Pete's. Fast food or brown bag lunch at work got you down? Let Chicky and Pete's easy-to-use online ordering pick you up. Yes, I'm Pete from Chicky and Pete's, reminding you about our easy-to-use online ordering and convenient curbside pickup. All of your Chicky and Pete's food favorites are just a click away. Order online at chickyandpete's.com and pick up at the Chicky and Pete's closest to you. chickyandpete's.com, click online ordering, enter your zip code, and order away.
If your family depends on your income and something happened to you, what would happen to them? You need life insurance, and SelectQuote can help you get it at a price you can afford.
SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, who's in excellent health, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $19 a month.
Not in perfect health? Don't worry.
SelectQuote found Tanya, 40, who has type 2 diabetes, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for only $32 a month.
We shop companies like Protective, Prudential, American General, and others to find you the company with the best rates. Give your family the security they need at a price you can afford.
For your free quote, call 1-800-519-0449. That's 1-800-519-0449. Or go to selectquote.com. That's 1-800-519-0449.
Select Quote. We shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policies at selectquote.com/commercials. Your premium could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
When you fill your prescriptions at Walgreens, you can track the progress of your order in real time. Know the price of your prescriptions before you go to pick them up. And anytime you have questions, use Pharmacy Chat to ask an expert 24 hours a day. Help with your meds from Walgreens. Side effects may include breathing a little easier because your prescription stress melted away. Learn more on the Walgreens app.
This price isn't final. This is an estimated price based on your insurance coverage.
Jackson Hewitt needs you to know 3 things about filing taxes this year. 1, there are thousands of dollars worth of new tax credits on the table. 2, you have to file for them to make sure you get the right amount. 3, a Jackson Hewitt Tax Pro will help track down every credit you deserve. Tax credits for being a parent, taking care of a parent, going to school, and so much more. You don't want to miss out on thousands. Jackson Hewitt knows that. Discover thousands in tax credits and get your biggest refund guaranteed. Learn more at jacksonhewitt.com.
Winter has finally arrived and we are celebrating another remarkable milestone. Hi, Tom McAllister from McAllister the Service Company. December 21st is the first day of winter and we are celebrating our 146th year in business. The legacy and commitment of honesty, integrity, and excellence that my great-grandfather started over 145 years ago continues today. For award-winning quality and dependability, talk to the experts at McAllister about your heating and air conditioning needs. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of discounts and rebates offered by the state and the utilities. And on a warmer note, after New Year's, there are only 11 Saturdays until spring. Talk to the experts at McAllister, 609-927-4122, or at mcservice.com for all your heating and air conditioning needs. McAllister, cannot control the weather, but we can control your comfort.
Hey, Carrie, we need that tax report by tomorrow. Hey, Bobby, get me that expenses.
For Hari's accounting firm, client growth is exponential.
We're a couple of accountants short.
He needs whip-smart accountants at whiplash speed.
Hey, so why aren't these receivables matching up?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
When was the last time everyone agreed on what's for dinner? You want ramen, they want pizza. Thankfully, there's something for everyone on the DoorDash app. For a limited time, get 50% off and 0 delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code ORDERNOW50. That's 50% off up to a $12 value and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you enter promo code ORDERNOW50. That's promo code ORDERNOW50. Subject to change. Terms apply. Get more from your neighborhood.
Make 2022 your year to glow at Ulta Beauty's Love Your Skin event happening now. Upgrade your skincare routine and discover your healthiest skin yet with up to 50% off daily beauty steals from faves like Tula, First Aid Beauty, and Clarins. Feel your best with a skincare routine made just for you. But hurry, this event ends January 22nd. Shop in-store, online, or try curbside pickup today. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
Hey, Ray Magliozzi here. I'd like to carry more parts at my shop, but I just don't have the room. Every time I go in the back to get wiper blades, I trip over a dusty crate of Honda air filters, then bang my head on some GTO radiator hoses. eBay Motors never has that problem. They stock all the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them, with everything from new headlights to vintage gear shifters. I can't imagine being able to stock 122 million parts. I mean, where would I get all those shelves? eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Hey, Pete, how's business? It's great. Foot traffic's still way down, but more people are finding me online.
Nice. How'd you pull that off?
Well, the first thing I did was go to mylocalcustomers.com to see exactly how many searches there were for businesses like mine.
So I guess there were a lot?
Yeah, there were hundreds of local searches every month. So after I saw that, they helped me position my business online to get in front of those customers.
That's awesome. I wonder how many people are searching for my services around here.
Well, it's quick and easy to get the answer, plus it's free. Just go to mylocalcustomers.com to find out. If there are a lot of searches, you should definitely get in front of them. If there aren't, no harm, no foul.
Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free local customer analysis that will show you how many customers are searching online for your type of business. It's quick, easy, and free. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
Josh Hennig, final segment of the show here on 97.3 ESPN FM. Don't make sure you download the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. You can listen to the show wherever you go, thanks to First Bank of Sea City. Also, tomorrow night, we will have for you here on 97.3 ESPN. The final vote will be counted tomorrow afternoon before we go on the air tomorrow night for this week's South Jersey High School Athlete of the Week. If you haven't already voted, make sure you go to 973ESPN.com or the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. The current nominees who are up for election this week are as following. Megan Fox, Atlantic City High School swimmer. She's a three-time first-team swimming all-star who is committed to South Carolina. She has 17 first-place finishes already this year for the Vikings swim team. You also have Carlos Lopez of Egg Harbor Township, the 1,000-point scorers, averaging 24 points per game for the Silver Eagles, is among the Cal leaders in steals this year, as EHC is one of the top public schools in all of South Jersey this year. Max Elton of Holy Spirit, he is a junior who's won 11 of his 13 matches on the wrestling mat at 113, 120-pound classes. He's also finished third in the NJSIA regionals last season. Hunter Horsey of Oakcrest, the senior, won 11 of his 12 wrestling matches this year for the Oakcrest Falcons at 132, 130, 144-pound classes, including 8 pins this year. Yamir Diggs of Violent, a senior for the Fighting Clan boys basketball team, is one of the best starts of the season, averaging 20 points per game and being right near the top of the Cape Atlantic League in steals and assists. And final nominee is Macy McCracken of Wildwood High School. The freshman, is averaging more than 16 points per game for the undefeated Warriors girls basketball team and has scored 33 in a recent win over Our Lady of Mercy. So those are your nominees for this week's South Jersey High School Athlete of the Week. You can vote right now at 973ESPN.com or the 973 ESPN mobile app. And as always, we will announce the official winner tomorrow night right here on Game Night and give you the full news on who won, as we do each week, the South Jersey High School Athlete of the Week. And of course, if you missed who won the South Jersey High School male and female athletes of the 2021 fall season, you can get those details also over at 973ESPN.com and the 973 ESPN mobile app. I'll give you my full rundown of my picks tomorrow of who will win the NFL weekend here on 97.3. We got a lot of previews coming up, a lot of good guests the next couple of days. Always great talk with Andy. Gave you a lot of great insights today. I'll give you my full load of picks for tomorrow's show. Who will win, who won't, my picks over the weekend. Also talk about UFC 270. The UFC heavyweight unification bout is this weekend, so I'll give you some UFC picks this weekend as well. John Morgan from USA Today's MMA Junkie. He's our lead MMA reporter. You can call him an FOS, friend of the show. He will join us tomorrow at 6:20 p.m. And then on Saturday, we will give you some more information on the NFL, the NFL draft, how it relates to the Eagles with Eric Edholm from Yahoo Sports this Saturday at 12:20 p.m. We have a busy couple of days right here with yours truly, Josh Hennig, here on 97.3 ESPN. Of course, tomorrow, the Sports Patch with Mike Gill from 2 to 6. I'll be back on the air at 6 p.m. Tonight, Flyers versus Blue Jackets. Yes, the return of Jake Voracek to the Wells Fargo Center. Of course, you can hear all the action right here on 97.3 ESPN FM and Flyers hockey on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. Thanks to First Bank of Seattle City. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll catch you tomorrow right here on 97.3 ESPN.